Good morning and welcome to another conversation with Mose. And as always, I pray life is treating you well wherever you are in the world. That you're one day closer to your dreams, hopes, and aspirations coming true. Of course, my podcast wouldn't be a podcast without a poem, so today won't be any different. And this poem is written by the New York poet Mark Christopher Johnson, taken from his book Lovesick Humanitarian. And this poem is called Black Boy. Black boy needs opportunities. Black boy needs encouragement. Black boy needs accolades. Black boy needs family. Black boy needs truth. Black boy needs education. Black boy needs his mother. Black boy has many fathers. Black boy has unconditional love. Black boy has to be free. I hope you enjoyed that. He's one of my favorite poets, and if you get a chance, Google him, Mark C. Johnson. And his books are available now where books are sold. Which brings me to my podcast for today, my subject matter for today, and it is Black Man Magic. Again, Black Man Magic. And you may have heard me mention this before in the past, but I'm trying to start a movement of Black Man Magic inspired by Black Girl Magic. And to be honest with you, I was seeing all these things about Black women online, Black Girls Rock, and all these different formats, or I say different shows and different, different opportunities for Black women in media. And I wasn't seeing Black men in that way. And I'm talking about everyday men, not just successful Black men, but just the everyday Black man. And I wanted us to be reminded of who we are. And so I coined the phrase Black Man Magic, and I actually wrote a poem about it that I'm featuring on some t-shirts, and I've got it framed in my store. And to be honest with you, I wrote that poem for Black men to remind themselves, like I said before, of who they are. So it's not a slight against Black women, but I know that we are amazing, and we deal with shit every day. And it doesn't matter what walk of life, meaning what we do for a living or how we live our lives. It's difficult for a Black man out here. And social media with police brutality and all these different things that seem to not be going away. It's something that we need. We need our own awards show saying, you're a king. And we are kings. And yes, we're all different. We all grew up differently, but we all have to be reminded of who we are. And I know I do. That's why I podcast, why I create. Because to be honest with you, my legacy is important to me. It really is. I wake up every day to pour into my legacy. What do I want people to know about me? What do I want them to remember? What do I want them to say about me? And I think we all should have that perspective as men. What do you want your children to say about you, and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren? What do you want them to know, to carry with them? And it's something that I'm very prideful about, and I feel very strongly about. Probably more than I should, if there's such a thing. But I get angry because I don't think Black men are treated fairly. Corporate-wise, education, the list is long. The list is really long. And I don't like being angry all the time. So I try to use this energy to help other men. And let me just say this, the men that want to be helped, the ones that want to do better, the ones that want to turn their lives around. Nothing against, well, actually there is something against. I am against the guys that are really just passing through or trying to just get by. because it makes it difficult for the men that are really working hard to better their lives, for their families, for themselves. And we are magical. The shit that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, just walking out our houses, walking into the world that wants to kill us, that despises us, that doesn't want us to progress or grow old. We have to be reminded of who we are every day. And when we see each other, we should speak to each other, hold our heads up high, because we shouldn't be looking down at our feet. There's nothing down there. And I walk with my head held high every day. And even if it's tears in my eyes, I still do it. And I fight for the people behind me, just like the people in front of me fought for me. So I pay homage every day. Is it easy to do? No, not so much. But I don't believe in complaining or whining. You make the change that you want to see. And starting this Black Man Magic movement is really important. And I'll be selling t-shirts really soon. So I do definitely want you to come by my All Things Moetic store, because I'm planning on doing cups and all things Black Man Magic oriented. Because again, Black women got it on lock. They support each other. They look out for each other. And the only issue I have with Black women is sometimes they seem to be putting Black men down, and I see it on shows and, he's not this and he's not that. We don't need to be reminded, and whoever you might be dealing with, every man is not like that. Every Black man isn't lazy or doesn't want to have a job or doesn't want to progress. I believe that we just be down on our luck. And if it was easy for us to get in certain spaces, for us to make money, then all of us would be in that position. So a man does not need to be reminded of his shortcomings when he's really trying to get ahead. Whether he's working 3 jobs, taking care of his kids, trying to be a good husband. And when you got people breathing down your neck all the time. And again, it doesn't matter if you are a CEO at a company or if you're the janitor in your building. I feel like he gets the same heat, maybe for a different reason, but it's the same. It's the same. And we have to remind each other every single day that we are great, that we are awesome, we are important, that we matter. And again, I don't care who's in the White House. I don't care who's running what. We have to do it to each other. Because again, that's the one thing I will say that I do respect about Black women, at least from what I see, that y'all really do stand by each other. Y'all might have y'all things y'all do behind the scenes, but I respect the fact that y'all do stand with each other when it comes to supporting each other. And I'm not saying there's not a hateration or, you're going to have people that are going to hate on you or give you a hard time in any group of people. But as Black men, we have to stand strong. We have to be more unified as best we can be and acknowledge each other and say, I'm proud of you or congratulations. We have to be unafraid to say those things to each other, because what a difference it says to someone when you say, I'm proud of you, or good job, or keep going. And we need to support each other. I know I need it all the time, because I am always discouraged. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I continuing to do something when it's not moving forward? But I wake up every day, again, focused on my legacy. What do I want people to know about me? What do I want to convey to my family? And even though it's not easy to do, it's important to me. It's important that I don't let white people convince me that my life doesn't matter, that I'm not important, that my ideas and who I am, that it doesn't matter. Because for a long time, I was starting to believe certain things. I was really starting to believe in what I was being fed, as I've said before. And I didn't have other Black men encouraging me and saying things to me like, man, continue to do it. And which also makes me sad, because I feel like to be honest, I feel like everybody's kind of, I got mine, you get yours, rolling over each other to get ahead, but not pulling each other up, you know? And I pray that if I'm ever in the position to pull someone else up, I will. Only if they pull someone else up too. Because again, I don't want to be in a room full of white people and there's no other room, nobody else in the room that looks like me. I've been in those rooms, you know, even if it's 10 other black men in there with me and we just give each other a head tilt, like, you know, but I don't want to be the only black man in the room. You know, I just don't, you know, I want all men to be successful, all black men to be successful, whatever that looks like for them. You know, I want them to be able to take great vacations and take care of their children and not have to worry about this bill or that bill or having to have a side hustle because you can't afford to, you know, do certain things. That's our struggle every day, you know, or driving a nice car without worrying about getting pulled over by the police because you can afford a Mercedes or a BMW. You shouldn't have to apologize for being successful. Like they say, driving while black. So you're penalized whether you have money and you're penalized if you don't have it. And and to hear black women sometimes put us down in my presence, it sends me into a rage. They have no idea. My thing is, I don't like being compared to other black men. You know, just like I know women don't like it. But sometimes I think you guys have to realize, walk in our shoes. Because when black women say something, if a black man says the exact same thing, it's taken differently. Yeah, you're the angry black woman, but they're not as quick to shoot at you. I'm not saying y'all don't have y'all issues and that y'all don't have your own struggles, but it's very different. The stress, the anxiety is very different for us on a day-to-day basis. And creating this black man magic reminder is what I'm going to call it. When I see these shirts, I want them to be on men that want to wear it. Meaning, whether it's an 80-year-old man who was a slave or whatever the case may be, or whatever his back history is, the good thing about my shirts and this whole movement is it's not about age or history. It's about, well, it is in a sense, but I'm saying that any black man could wear this shirt. You know, whether it's a young man coming into his own or an older man just living out the rest of his life. And I designed it that way, and I wrote the poem on purpose for that reason, you know, to enlighten people about who we are as men. Because again, I struggle every single day. I mean, every day. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, just to get up, not feel heavy and weighed down. And sometimes I cry, and out of nowhere, I just start crying. And because I feel like my life isn't getting better. It feels like, to be honest with you, like it's getting worse. My struggles get so difficult and I feel so overwhelmed that I have to just sit still, literally just sit still. And sometimes I can't sleep. I'm literally like overwhelmed to the point where it's like, what do I do now? And there's always something coming down the pipe that I got to address. It's like when you're doing 20 things at once and you're trying to address, and then you're trying to smile all the time, trying to be happy in the midst of struggle and to be a man of a certain age now, we have to remind each other. I mean, again, I'm not going to say we're going to all agree on everything. And I'm not saying my t-shirts are going to change the world or my Black Man Magic movement is going to change. But if I can change a perspective, if I can make somebody hold their head up a little higher, then I want to do that. I do. And I don't want anybody going through the things I've gone through. I mean, again, I don't want black men to be angry all the time. I mean, I know that feeling. I do. I know it well. And to not trust people, have a whole bunch of distrust. And I am definitely that guy. I don't trust people. I really don't. I used to. I really did have a lot of faith in people, that people were who they said they were. But I don't see that now. I've been deceived by so many people in my life, but I still believe in people. I still like people. And despite my distrust and the things that I've gone through, I still want to see us do well as men. I want us to own homes and cars, and when I say that, I mean stuff to leave our children, and our children's children. And because right now we are living in some really, really challenging times, and I've never felt so compelled to be more represented, to be, I know this is going to sound crazy, I feel blacker. My life has made me blacker inside. And I don't mean blacker in a negative way. I mean blacker, like stronger. I want to hold my fist up higher because I'm doing it for the next generation. Again, to make their life a little bit easier than mine has been. And I don't know, again, when I'll get my 15 minutes. Maybe I'm living in my 15 minutes. But I promise you, if I get where I'd like to be, I'm definitely going to speak on these things that I feel very strongly about. But as black men, I think we need to, again, we talk about things on a big level, like we have to do the marching and all that. I'm not taking away. I think we should continue to do those things. But I'm talking about the everyday black man. When we see each other, we need to acknowledge each other and, again, remind each other of who we are. That's what this is about. This is not about marching or protesting. This is about seeing one another and seeing one another, online, offline, because the things that we have to do to live, we're forced to do. I feel like we're forced to be in situations that we didn't ask. And I'm not naturally an angry person. I'm naturally a happy person. But again, I want to start something that really I pray has a domino effect, and that each of us can do our own thing to remind each other of who we are. And because I don't want to be, when I see the police in my rearview mirror, I don't want to get my heart rate up. I don't want to get nervous because I think he's going to pull me over or beat me or try to kill me. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to tiptoe around white women because I feel like she's going to say something to try to get me to lose my job or get me arrested or get me killed. That's why I have so much anxiety. But I take that energy and I move it somewhere else. I use it. I use it with my camera. I use it with my poetry because, again, my life matters. Our lives matter. And people say it, they wear the Black Lives Matter. But do we really talk about it? Our lives mattering, to our families. I know I'm loved. I know that I matter. I know I matter not just to my parents, but people that know me, that care about me, and that pray for me as I do for them. And we have to look out for each other. I mean, I'm talking about mental health, physical health, even financially, whatever we can do to keep each other lifted, because they want to kill us. They want us eradicated. We have to go beyond the Juneteenths and and do it for ourselves. We have to do it for ourselves. We have to make our own history every day. I mean, and we don't have to post it on social media. If you help another brother, you don't have to post it. You don't have to get the glory because you did something. Do it because that's what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are a lot of things I've done through the course of my life that nobody knows about. I don't have to post it. I don't have to get a pat on the back. And it's nice to get a pat on the back again for something maybe you've done for somebody, but sometimes just do it because it's the right thing to do. Whether it's giving somebody advice, sharing an experience that can help them. Like I've had prostate cancer. I will answer any question anybody has for me, especially if it's a black man, about prostate. Whatever he wants to know about my experience having prostate cancer, I will tell him. I bought a home and sold a home. If there's a black man out there that wants to know what I did, I will tell him wholeheartedly, this is what I did. So wisdom is to share. And if you're holding it in and keeping somebody from eating or having a better life, then shame on you. Because if we're not telling, because white folks ain't telling us nothing. They keep all the secrets to themselves. And the thing is, we have to tell each other stuff. Why do I not want my brother to have a house? And I don't mean my brother, but I'm saying my brothers. We should all have homes. We should all be homeowners and landowners. There's no reason why I would keep any man from having what I have. So again, this black man magic is important to me, because I said, damn it, we are magical. The shit that we go through every day, the things that we have to overcome and rise above, who else could do it other than the black man? And we don't complain. We don't. And I say to black women, give the man some space. Because if you're asking a black man to be vulnerable to you, then sometimes you got to wait it out with him. I'm not saying feel sorry for him. I'm not saying, and sex ain't going to make it go away. It's just not. Ain't that much sex in the world. Ain't that much drinking in the world when a black man is going through some shit. He can hide, he can get high, he can have sex with anybody in the world, but his pain is still going to be his pain. So you have to give him time and give him space. And then also, people only share their feelings when they feel comfortable sharing their feelings, if they feel like it's going to be received and not judged or ridiculed or put down when you ask somebody to be vulnerable about how they feel. Because are you ready for that conversation? Are you really ready to hear what's on a black man's heart? I mean, fully on his heart, and it's not easy to have those conversations. It's not easy to have those conversations with yourself, let alone with somebody else. Because I'm not comfortable, totally honest, being honest with people about how I feel. Because like I said, sometimes you just want to be understood. My experience has made me this person, but I refuse to walk around angry and not use that energy for good. It's important to me that we encourage each other by any means necessary. Again, and it doesn't have to look the same. It doesn't have to look like, we don't all have to have the same experience, but the result is the same. Shouldn't we be encouraging each other to just be better black men? And if we see somebody making a mistake or getting ready to make one, say something. Man, why are you doing that? Look out. And I'm not trying to be a Pollyanna. I'm not saying, like I said, my little podcast is just going to change the world. But I hope that it does. And it speaks to a man's heart and says, you know what, he's right. Because what are we teaching young people? What are we telling them? That it's okay to just let life pass you by. We have a right to be here. We have a right to have great lives. And we have to, again, remind each other every day of who we are, why we are, whose we are. And again, I really hope this podcast was something that you weren't expecting. Because again, it's about black men standing up for themselves. And again, I'm talking about every day, making it a lifestyle to where we just acknowledge each other. And again, I don't know what that looks like. I really don't. The only thing I can do is my part. And like I said before, my legacy is important to me. What Mose tried to do to make to the changes that he wanted to see in the world. Because I'm tired of us getting shitted on. I mean, whether I'm getting shitted on or somebody else, I really don't get anything out of watching it up close. But again, I'm looking forward to getting these shirts and actually adding them to my store, All Things Moetic. And if you get a chance, stop on by and pick up a shirt. And for the black women out there, maybe get one for your son, your dad, your brother, your cousin, your uncle. And look for those shirts really soon, the Black Man Magic movement. And as always, I want to thank you for listening and your support and your encouragement. And as always, I pray life is treating you well, absolutely well, wherever you are in the world. and that you're one day closer, closer and closer to your dreams, prayers, and hopes coming true. Thank you so much for listening.